challenges that marketplaces typically face, such as disintermediation. Is that something that you kind of saw early on, or, was it a challenge for you guys with Lawn Love?
Yeah, I think that's like the canonical things are like supply demand liquidity, chicken and egg effects, and poaching, right? If you can, and like usually take rate has something to do with all of that. But like, if you can solve for that, you usually have a decent marketplace. I think disintermediation is always a factor, but it is less of a factor here for one simple reason. The nature of the business means that there is less attack vector for pros to try to poach, because pre-COVID, this has changed obviously in a COVID world where everyone is home 100% of the time, but pre-COVID, 80% of our jobs, the customer was at work, right? So they weren't actually physically home. And that is the window where a pro is likely going to try to like hand off a business card and take your customer off the platform. And so things like in-home, like handy, right? Like in-home maid service, carpet cleaning, babysitting, not only is there way more direct pro to client interaction, but the nature of the relationship is very like heterogeneous, and the babysitter is unique and singular, and you cannot swap them out for one functional unit of additional incremental babysitter, right? Like you need that human named Martha. And so because of that, disintermediation risks is just like through the roof. Same with personal training, right? You get attached to your personal trainer. You don't just want some other random, unit of trainers showing up at your home. And so that was one of the reasons why we ran at Lawns, is because we thought it was uniquely well suited to defend against the disintermediation problem, because customers and like our lawn pros don't interact in person very much. That means that it also elevates the value of the Lawn Love platform for the customer, because they need our tools to communicate what they want done every day, right? They use the Lawn Love system to send notes to their pros and kind of coordinate their service over time. And we've built out a full structured blueprint of every customer's yard. We measure like front, side, back lawn, roof perimeter, driveway length, and we can give you really accurate sight unseen quotes for anything that you want done in your home or outside your home. And so that kind of like reduced incentive on the demand side to poach our pros meant that we really only had to worry about pros poaching our customers. And that you solve for by just, first of all, having less attack vectors, fewer attack vectors, and also building better value props for pros, right? Like if your platform is truly delivering value to the supply side, they'd have to be doing some pretty poor internal math to jeopardize their long-term prospects on the platform for one or two incremental customers in their business. And that's how we thought about it. And I do still think it's obviously something that happens on the platform. It's a hard thing to measure, right? Because pros don't generally self-select and report that they've poached. It usually shows up in other churn reason codes, like I'm going to service the lawn myself or something like that. But we don't think it's nearly as big of a deal as it was in some of these other industries for those reasons and others. We've also built like a ton of quantifieds to help solve for this too, right? So we take a look at what is the incidence rate of a pro's recurring customer continuing to repeat their services after that pro shows up to their job, right? If we have a pro who mysteriously never has recurring customers repeat services, that's some sort of signal that they're either doing terrible work and those customers are churning for quality reasons, or they're poaching. And so we can police it that way. So it's a combination of like natural dynamics in the space, good quantifieds and kind of metrics and reporting, and the qualifieds of like just having a good business with value props that are actually compelling for the pros, that they're not likely to want to jeopardize in favor of short-term benefit.